Welcome back to the Corner Faster Get Fast series. We're at Watkins Glen, getting ready for the Champ Car race at the end of this month, driving TL Speedworks Boxsters. And this is part of 50 laps to get up to speed using the iRacing simulator. So we're using the iRacing simulator in the virtual Porsche Cayman GT4 car. It's not quite a Porsche Boxster, but it'll have to do. Anyway, in the first couple videos, we learned the layout and how to look ahead, and then there's also a bonus warm-up video for this particular session, but there's a few things we're going to be doing in this particular session. First thing we're going to do is map out our gear selection around the track. At this point, it makes sense to validate that we're in the right gear at the slowest point in each corner. And then we're also going to drive at the limit of grip of the tires and try to sort that out both on the way in and in the middle of each corner. And then finally, we're going to stay out on track and, while maintaining driving on the limit of grip, try to clean up our exits by shaping our trajectory through each corner to prioritize momentum carried onto the straightaways, and by getting to the throttle once and not lifting off until the next braking sound. The first step of this exercise, as mentioned, we're going to map out the gear selection at the slowest point for each corner. And even though they're totally different cars, the Boxster and the Cayman, it's actually going to be the same gear selection for each corner around the track. So starting with turn 1, we're going to drop down on the main straightaway from 6th gear in the Cayman all the way down to 3rd gear in the Boxster. It should just be a 4th to 3rd downshift, be at the very top of 4th most likely. And then upshift to 4th somewhere in the S's in the Boxster. And by the time we get into the bus stop, it's going to be 4th gear for both cars, dropping down from 6th gear in the Cayman, and actually just hanging out in 4th gear, going from the very top of 4th gear in the Boxster at the end of the back straight, down to the very bottom of 4th gear for the bus stop. And if there's a lot of traffic, this is a spot where a downshift to 3rd might make sense, but 4th gear on a hot lap. Staying in 4th gear through turn 5, the outer loop, dropping down to 3rd gear for turn 6, 3rd gear for turn 7, 3rd gear for turn 8, and 3rd gear for turn 9. So basically the boot is all 3rd gear, with each corner a little bit slower than the one before. So 6 is a little faster than 7, which is a little faster than 8, which is a little faster than 9. Then we get to the high speed turn 10, which is a 4th gear corner. And then finally turn 11 is another 4th gear corner, although it's a slower 4th gear corner where in a lot of traffic a downshift to 3rd gear might make sense. So with that all sorted out, let's head back on track for the drive at the limit of grip exercise. Now it's time to start carrying a bit more momentum and testing the limit of grip into and through each corner around the track. So in turn 1, we want to see those lock-up lights pop up just a little bit, and there they are. And we just missed the apex trying to get it to stick into turn 1. So a little bit messy, but that's kind of the point. We want to make sure that we're actually at the limit of grip. We can smooth it all out later, but we want to listen for and feel for that limit. Obviously in the simulator it's a little tough to feel, but we do have force feedback through the wheels, vibration in the pedals that can be set up. Coming to the bus stop, we want to test if we can turn back to the left. That's really the challenging cornering force. In the outer loop, we want to keep going until we just push off that apex. Coming down into turn 6 as the track falls away, we want to carry just enough momentum that we can't quite get down to that yellow line. You can see just a little bit of purple flashes. That's actually the traction lights going the other way for throttle on. You can see we just missed the yellow line around the toe with a little bit of slip on the way out. On the way into the heel, can't quite get it turned in. Well, that was pretty close, going just a little long. Again, we're just trying to push the limits in each corner here. Catching it a little bit and having a lift off at the exit of turn 9. That's totally fine for this exercise. And then now finally turn 11, pushing it all the way out to the wall. So this was a fun one, just sliding the car around, listening and feeling for that limit of grip in and out of each corner. But after a few messy ones, it's time to clean it up just a little bit. So the second half of this, after taking maybe 3-4 laps to push the limit, is all about shaping each corner to prioritize the exit. So we want to stay on that limit of grip as much as we can, dialing it back just enough and shaping our trajectory so that we can get on the throttle once and power out of each corner to carry as much momentum onto the straightaways. After a few laps of trying to find the limit of grip in and through each corner, we're now going to clean up our exits a little bit. So coming here into turn 1, we want to get back on the throttle just before the apex curve and then get to wide open throttle and hang on to it all the way through the exit curve. So this requires us to shape the corner a little bit to apex maybe just a little bit later, to arc the car into that apex at the right angle. Obviously we're under the limit through the S's, but coming into the bus stop, we want to make sure that we're on the limit both in the brake zone over the first curve, but then also especially turning back to the left here. This is really the limiting factor of the bus stop, getting it turned left and back out of the bus stop. We want to be able to power all the way through the apex, around the corner station, and out of the outer loop. Be able to get back on the gas and make it stick from before we can even see the exit at turn 6. Pretty much the same thing at turn 7, even though it's uphill. We want to be able to get back on the throttle before we can even see that exit. It's really important here to carry a ton of momentum up the hill and into the sole. Now in the heel, we have to let things settle just a little bit, but we'll be powering from apex all the way to the exit. And then similarly, we have to actually let it settle and now feed in the throttle slowly for turn 9, getting the wide open throttle over the crest and hanging onto it through the exit curve. Turn 10, we get back on it at apex, hang on to it all the way into turn 11. Now 11, power all the way through that apex curve and onto the front straight. So we demonstrated one lap of this, but we're going to take a few laps and try to sort out our exits so we're getting clean power down and solid momentum on to each of the long straightaways here at Watkins Glen. But that's it for this particular exercise. Just to wrap up, we spent a little bit of time mapping out our gear selection, really the lowest gear we want to be in for each corner around the track. And it's actually the same, most likely, for the Champ Car Boxster as it is for this virtual Cayman GT4, at least for the slowest gear. And then we spent a few laps driving around, pushing the limits of the car, finding the limit of grip into and through each corner. And now most recently spent a few laps working on cleaning up our exits to prioritize carrying momentum out of each corner and onto the long straights. So that's it for now. Stick around for the next couple videos where we get into braking and rotating the car into each corner. Thanks for watching.